If you're holding 7,540 stellar lumens, better known as XLM, you might be asking yourself, how much could this stack be worth by 2026? Could Stellar become the go-to solution for global money transfers and rival the likes of XRP, or will it remain a niche project overshadowed by bigger names? Let's dig into the latest developments, adoption trends, and price scenarios that could shape XLM's future. But before we dive deeper, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a solid exchange to trade crypto, I personally use WEEX. It's reliable, has deep liquidity, super low fees, and a massive selection of coins. Right now, you can claim up to $30,000 in sign-up bonuses and trade with up to 400x leverage. Best part? No KYC required. Use the link in the description to sign up and claim your bonus today. Now, let's get into Stellar. At the time of recording, XLM trades around 40 cents, with a market cap close to $12.9 billion. That places Stellar among the mid-tier altcoins, large enough to be recognized globally, but still small compared to giants like XRP or ADA. But what makes Stellar unique is its mission. Founded in 2014 by Jed McCaleb, who also co-founded Ripple, Stellar was designed to connect global financial systems, especially focusing on remittances, underbanked regions, and low-cost money transfers. Think of Stellar as a bridge between traditional finance and blockchain. Its core strength lies in enabling people to send money internationally in seconds, with fees so small they're almost negligible. This use case is massive. In fact, the global remittance market exceeds $600 billion annually, with millions of people sending money across borders to support family. High fees and long wait times have been a constant pain point, and this is where Stellar is trying to make its mark. Unlike Ripple, which has focused heavily on banks and institutional adoption, Stellar has leaned more toward partnerships with governments, NGOs, and fintech companies. One of the most important partnerships was with IBM through a project called IBM WorldWire, which used Stellar's network to settle cross-border payments. While IBM eventually shifted away from WorldWire, the collaboration highlighted Stellar's capability to power real-world financial infrastructure. Stellar has also partnered with the UNHCR, using blockchain to deliver aid to refugees in Ukraine. This project allows aid recipients to access money digitally through Stellar-based wallets, bypassing the limitations of physical cash in war zones. That kind of utility might not grab as many headlines as speculative trading, but it shows real-world adoption, and that matters for long-term growth. Another huge development is Stellar's role in central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. In 2021, Ukraine's Ministry of Digital Transformation signed a deal with the Stellar Development Foundation to build the framework for a potential national digital currency. This wasn't just talk. Stellar has been actively involved in CBDC conversations with governments around the world. If even one major nation launches a CBDC on Stellar, demand for XLM could surge. Now, let's talk numbers. If XLM rises from its current price of 40 cents to $1, that would give Stellar a market cap of about $32 billion. Your 7,540 XLM would then be worth $7,540. That's a realistic short-term target, as XLM has traded near $1 in previous cycles. If XLM climbs to $2, its market cap would be about $64 billion. Your holdings would then be worth $15,080. This would place Stellar firmly among the top altcoins, but still within reason given the size of the remittance market it's targeting. Now let's stretch higher. At $5, XLM's market cap would hit around $160 billion. Your 7,540 XLM would then be worth $37,700. At this level, Stellar would need widespread adoption from fintech companies and potentially a CBDC launch to justify the valuation. At $10 per XLM, the market cap would exceed $320 billion. Your holdings would then be worth $75,400. For Stellar to reach this kind of valuation, it would likely need to dominate global remittances and become a critical backbone for multiple governments and NGOs worldwide. While ambitious, it's not outside the realm of possibility if CBDCs take off and Stellar becomes one of the leading platforms to host them. Of course, no investment is risk-free. Let's look at what could hold Stellar back. First, competition. Ripple's XRP is often compared to Stellar, since both target cross-border payments. Ripple, however, has focused on banks and high-value transfers, while Stellar emphasizes low-cost transfers and financial inclusion. But the overlap still creates competition, especially if institutions choose Ripple over Stellar. Second, adoption pace. While Stellar has made impressive partnerships, its ecosystem is smaller compared to other blockchains. DeFi, NFTs, and smart contracts have exploded on platforms like Ethereum, Cardano, and Solana, but Stellar has been slower to build out these ecosystems. Without more developers building on Stellar, adoption could stall. Third, market cycles. Stellar tends to move with the overall crypto market. When the market pumps, XLM often rises dramatically, but during bear markets, it also retraces heavily. For example, in past cycles, Stellar has lost up to 90% of its value value from peak to trough. Investors need to be prepared for volatility. But on the positive side, Stellar's low transaction costs and proven use cases give it staying power. Unlike many speculative projects, Stellar is solving a real problem, making money more accessible for everyone. The focus on financial inclusion resonates especially in developing countries, where millions of people lack access to traditional banks. Another strength is the Stellar Development Foundation, SDF, which continues to actively promote adoption and fund projects building on the Stellar network. The SDF has grants and programs to attract developers, expand use cases, and integrate Stellar with mainstream finance. So, where could this all lead by 2026? Let's put your 7,540 XLM into perspective. At $1, your stack is worth $7,540. At $2, it's worth $15,080. At $5, it's worth $37,700. At $10, it's worth $75,400. And in a bearish case, if Stellar slipped back to 20 cents, your stack would still be worth $1,508. These numbers show both the upside potential and the downside risks. What's important is that Stellar is not just a speculative coin. It's part of a broader mission to bring affordable, fast payments to people who need them the most. And with ongoing interest in CBDCs, Stellar could play a key role in shaping the future of money itself. By 2026, Stellar's price will likely depend on three main factors: adoption of CBDCs, continued partnerships with NGOs and governments, and competition with Ripple and other payment solutions. If Stellar secures even a slice of the global remittance market and plays a role in digital currencies, your 7,540 XLM could be worth anywhere between $7,500 and $37,000, with higher valuations possible if Stellar becomes a go-to platform for global finance. So the question is, will Stellar achieve its mission of financial inclusion, or will it remain in the shadow of bigger players? Time will tell, but the potential for life-changing gains is there for those willing to hold.